So, today's class is about the past simple using regular and irregular verbs. Before now, we looked at the verb be in the past simple. And we know that the verb be in the past becomes was or were. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is we're going to look at some regular verbs, okay? Okay, so in the past simple with regular verbs, these are like your normal verbs, we use ed at the end of the verb to show that it's the past simple form that we are using. Okay, so regular verbs, just to give you an idea of some regular verbs, they would be verbs like play, talk, decide, walk. Okay, so these are just a few of the regular verbs that we have. Of course there are more. Okay, so with regular verbs, what makes them regular is that they are all the same in the past form. They all have ed at the end. Okay, so we add ed to make these verbs past simple. A verb that already ends in e, we just add d. Okay. Okay, so the verb play becomes played. The verb talk becomes talked. The verb decide becomes decided. The verb walk becomes walked. Okay, so when we use these verbs in the past simple in a sentence, again we have to use time expressions in the past. So those time expressions, again, like yesterday, it could be when I was a child, language of the past. It could be last night, this morning, any time before now, 2 days ago, and we have these expressions of time in the past, ago, okay, last night, when I was a child, okay. So, what we're going to look at now is maybe putting these verbs into a sentence, okay? So you could say maybe, I played the guitar when I was a child, okay? So we have the expression of time in the past. I talked to my boss yesterday, okay? So let's throw that up. Yesterday, as we know, is an expression of time in the past, okay? I decided 2 days ago that I wanted to shoot this video, okay? I walked my dog this morning, okay? So there's just some expressions of time in the past. And the rule is that we put the first verb into the past simple form. So in a normal sentence, you have subject and verb, and we know the subject is I, you, could be my friend, my sister, she or he, they or we. The subject, who you are talking about. And then comes the verb. So I played. So this is the first verb. We must change to the past. And because it's a regular verb, we just add ed. Very easy, because for regular verbs we add ed. It's the same. That's what makes it regular. Ed, 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 ed. Okay? Now, just one thing to really be mindful of when you say these words is the pronunciation. So we're going to have a look at that now. Okay? Okay, so when we talk about regular verbs, we add ed to make the past simple. Okay? Move that down a bit. Okay, so now I have some regular verbs here. Okay, you can see these. You can. Okay, 1 second. Okay, just so we can have these now. Okay, so when we make the past simple form of regular verbs, we have to be careful how we say these words, because they are quite different. Okay, and it's a very common mistake. So I've chosen a couple of regular verbs here. So you have the verb clean. So this verb, to clean something, I clean my teeth every day. Watch, I watch TV. Cook, I cook my dinner. Listen, I listen to the radio. Cough, she has a cough. Walk, I walk my dog. Play, I play football. Start, I start work at 9 o'clock. Work, I work hard. Want, I want more money. Who doesn't? Die, my grandmother died. Okay, so when we use these regular verbs, we must pronounce them differently when we add ed. Okay, so they fall into 3 different categories. Okay, the sound at the end. So when you put ed at the end of those regular verbs, the sound is different. There's a t sound, there's an id sound, and there's a d sound. Okay, so I'm going to say these verbs and you listen and decide where they belong. Is it t, id, or d? So the end of the verb is quite strong, so listen for that. So the main verb clean, past simple, cleaned, cleaned. Do you hear it? D. Yeah, so it belongs here. So let's write that verb here. Cleaned. So I could say, I cleaned my house yesterday. Okay. Now this one, watch. So I watched TV yesterday. Watched. Do you hear that? Yes. T, t. It's a t sound. Watched. Okay, so we do have to stress the end sound so that people know we are talking about the past form, because they know from the sound of the verb at the end and the time expression that you use. So I watched TV last night. Not I watched TV last night, I watched. Okay? Okay, the next one, cook. So we put ed, cooked, cooked. Okay, yes, again it's here, cooked. You have a T sound at the end. Okay, now we write ed, but you hear t, cooked. Okay, listen. Listen to the wind. Past simple, listened. Listened. Do you hear it? Yes. D. So listened. I listened to music yesterday. Okay, listened. And again, ed at the end of the verb because it's a regular verb. But the sound is different. It's a d. Okay. This one. Cough. Cough. Okay. She coughed into her elbow. Coughed. Coughed. What can you hear? Coughed. Can you hear t? Yes. Coughed. Okay, very good. Now, the next one. Walk. Walked. 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 I walked my dog yesterday. Yes. Walk. Walked. I walked my dog yesterday. Okay. Now, here. Play. It's a very common verb that we know. And it's also regular. Played. 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 Yes, it's a d sound at the end. Okay, now here's another one. Start. I start work at 9 o'clock. Yesterday I started work at 10 o'clock. Started. Id. Started. It's the middle one. Id. Very good. Okay. Now we have another very common verb, even though it's irregular. Worked. I worked for 12 hours yesterday. I worked. So you hear the end. Yes, over here. Worked. Now you notice that the ending is ed for all of these verbs, but the sound is different. Okay, and that's the most important thing really when you're speaking about the past simple or about something that happened before now. Okay, now nearly there. Want. Okay, I want more money. Okay, who doesn't? Okay, I want. So wanted, ed, wanted. Okay, it. Yes, it goes into the middle. Now you put into a good sentence. She wanted a toy from Santa. She wanted a toy from Santa. So this would be at Christmas, which is before now. Okay, she wanted. And this one then, die. So her grandmother died when she was 15. Died. Died. Yes, the end here. The. Okay. Okay, I might maybe just put one here as well. Decide. I decided to do this lesson yesterday. Okay, I decided. It. You hear it? So, one thing to note, again, like I said, the end of all of these verbs is ed. Okay, that is what makes these verbs regular. Okay, the only thing you have to be careful about is how you speak these verbs, because often You might hear people say, maybe, I walked the dog yesterday. No, it's walked. Or I worked yesterday, worked. It's worked. One thing that might help you, I think, when you have a very strong end to a verb, like is a very strong sound, okay, and also ch is a very strong sound because it's ch, it's very strong. So when you have a very strong end to a verb, the next sound has to be stronger. So it's going to be a strong sound, and t is a strong sound. So you have watched, cooked, not cooked, cooked, here it's stronger. Coughed, it's a very strange word because it's a f sound. Coughed, she coughed into her elbow. Walked, she walked her dog yesterday. Worked, she worked as a child, okay, and then you have these. Started, she started school when she was 5. She wanted a toy for Christmas. She decided to do her homework yesterday. I cleaned my house last week. I listened to music last night. I played the guitar yesterday. My grandmother died when I was 17. Okay, so just some examples for you of some regular verbs. Now there are more regular verbs, but just be mindful of the pronunciation. Okay, let's take this down. And I want to look at some irregular verbs. So if regular means the same, because they have ed, 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 the same, they are all the same ending. What does irregular mean? Irregular. So irregular means the opposite, different. They're all different. Okay? Okay. So, let's have a look. Okay, so irregular verbs in the past are different words to the main verb, okay? And there are some very common being everyday irregular verbs, okay? So for example, just one or two here. Go, in the past, it's went, okay? Go, went. So let's join these up. Go, went, okay? These have to be learned, okay? If you don't know them, it's important to learn them, because when you need to make sentences in the past about these actions, then you need to know which word to use. We don't say I goed shopping yesterday, we say I went shopping yesterday. So the past simple form of the verb is made using a different word, and that's why it's called irregular verb. Okay, so I have some irregular verbs here. Now there are many more irregular verbs, and that's something that you can look up. Okay, so some are very common. You will maybe hear them when people are speaking. Okay, okay, so we'd already looked at go. So go changes to went. Okay, so I went to clomel yesterday. Okay. The next one, find. What is the past simple form of the verb find? Okay. So, yes, it is found. Okay. Find, found. Okay. I found €20 yesterday. Yay. Okay. Come changes to, can you see? Yes. Came. So the same beginning sound. And if you look at this, when you come to try to learn this, you only have to change one letter. Change the O for the A, and then the sound is different. I came to Ireland in 2005. Okay, I came. Not come, I came. You must use the past form of the verb come if you're talking about any time before now, which is the past simple. So come, came. Okay? Here's another common everyday verb, have. We say, I have 2 brothers. Okay? This verb changes to, it's irregular. So in the past, you know, you could say, I have breakfast every day at 8, but yesterday, so now we say yesterday, so your next verb must be in the past form. Yesterday I had breakfast at 11. Had. Okay, very good. Let's find it. Had. Have. Had. Okay. The verb be, we should know. Okay. So the verb be, am, are, is, changes to, yes, was or were. Okay. I am a teacher, but I was a student before. Okay, before now. Okay. Now here's another common verb. Common meaning that lots of people use this. It's used a lot. Okay. Make. So I make dinner every day. This is present simple. Past. My husband made dinner yesterday. Made. Very good. Made. Let's find it here. Make. Made. So we have to swap to change the K for a D. Okay. Now the next one. Buy. I buy coffee every day. Present form. Past simple. I bought coffee 2 days ago. Okay, so we have the expression of time in the past, ago. Okay, so buy, bought. Okay, here we go, up here. Now this is a difficult one, and you just have to keep writing a word until you remember it. Okay, you write it, look at it, study the word, and then try to write it without looking. Okay, so you look, cover, okay, write, check. Okay, and it's one way that you can learn to spell this word, by just practicing. Okay, say. Let me see. I say to all my students to practice writing. Okay. Now in the past, say changes. I could say I said to my students. Okay, I said. So again, this is kind of a difficult spelling. Here we go here. She said it yesterday to practice writing. The teacher said to practice writing. Okay, said, S-A-I-D. It's again one that you have to practice writing the spelling of this word. Okay, Now the last on our list here is see. I see the mountains from my house. Okay. The past form of this verb is the last one that's there. Yeah, saw. Okay, see, saw. Okay. Oh, she saw a big dog yesterday. She saw. Okay. So when you use the past form, you use them with time in the past. Okay. So yesterday, ago, last night, this morning. Okay. And we change the first verb. So the first verb is the verb after the subject. So I saw, I went, I found, she had, he was, they made, I bought, they said, they saw. Now, what you've noticed here is that when you know the verb in the past, it's the same for all forms, for I, for you, for he, for she, for it, for they, for we. We just have to learn it one time and then it's the same. So it would be I saw, you saw, he saw, they saw, we saw. I went, you went, he went, they went, we went. She said, I said, you said, he said, they said, we said. So it's the same form for all people. Okay? All right. Okay, so one thing I want to look at, very important, okay, is the way we bring verbs and nouns together. Okay. So these are some everyday common verbs, okay? And we use these verbs together with nouns or other words, okay? And when we use them together in the present simple, we also use them together in the past, but we have to change the first verb. So these are the verbs that we would change, okay? So let's just go through some of these. Have. So here are some nouns, okay? So what do we say? Do we say have a shower? Do we say do a shower or go a shower? Okay? So the correct one is have a shower. Oops. Sorry. I have a shower every day. So again, remember, this is the form in the present, have. And we know that if we want to use this in the past, then this word changes to had. Okay, so I had a shower 2 days ago. Okay, now, do we say for a walk? Have for a walk, do for a walk, or go for a walk? Which one? Yes, we say go for a walk. So these are expressions that go together, okay? So again, present form. So in the past, we would say, I went for a walk yesterday. Okay, so we would, again, you would just change the verb to the past simple form, which is went, to talk about something you did yesterday, okay? A good time. So do we say have a good time, do a good time, or go a good time? Yes, we say have a good time. So you could say, I have a good time in English class, or I had a good time in English class, or I had a good time at the party last week. Okay, had a good time. So the housework. Do we say have the housework, do the housework, or go the housework? I think we all know this one. It's do the housework, because we use do for work. Okay, so it's the same as homework. Okay, so do the housework. Now, do we say have some exercise, do some exercise, or go some exercise? Okay, so yes, we do. We say do some exercise. Again, because it's work. Okay. Now, do we say have breakfast, do breakfast, or go breakfast? Yes, you know this one, we say have breakfast. Okay. Now, again, do we say have on holiday, do on holiday, or go on holiday? Yes, we go on holiday. And again, for the past, we would say I went on holiday last July. There's my time expression in the past. In the past, I would say I did the housework yesterday. So this verb do, very important verb actually, is an irregular verb. And the past form of this verb is did. So I did the housework yesterday. I did some exercise at the weekend. Okay, so next one, home. Do we say have home, do home, go home? Yes, we say go home, not go to home, go home. These are expressions together, words that go together. Okay, so we say go home. And again, in the past, we would say went home. Okay, now the last one, to work. So do we say, I guess we could say have to work. Oh, I have to work tomorrow. Do to work. No, go to work. I think this one really belongs here. I go to work every day. Go to work. And again, about the past, I went to work yesterday. I went to work last week. Okay, so now they're just some verbs and some nouns and expressions that we use together. Okay, and if we use them in the present simple together, we also use them in the past simple together, but we must change the form to the past simple form, the verb. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is we're going to look at a gap fill exercise, a small reading exercise, which I love. I love this reading. It's very interesting. Okay, right, so who is Jackson Pollock? So here we are going to put the verbs that are in brackets into the past simple, okay? Because this is a story about the past, okay? So the verbs must be in the past simple, okay? And the verbs in the brackets are present simple, okay? Or the main verb. So then we have to change these, okay? So I'll read. Terry Horton, a 60-year-old lady from Los Angeles. So in the past, go, went. Very good. Okay. Went shopping in San Bernardino, a town in California, USA. She, so we have the verb be, she was in a charity shop. So this is like a shop that sells old things or used things. Okay, a second-hand shop. She was in a charity shop when she, so we need the verb see, when she saw a colourful modern painting. She, bought. She bought it for $5. An art teacher saw the painting and, so we have the verb say, said. And said, it was by the American artist Jackson Pollock. Who is Jackson Pollock? Said Terry. She, so we have the verb have in the past, had no idea that he was a very famous modern painter. Many art experts, so these are people who know a lot about art. Okay, so go, yes, went to her house to see the painting. Peter Paul Biro found Pollock's fingerprints on the back. Biro said, this is a real Pollock painting. And you see our speech marks here when somebody is speaking. He said, when we quote someone, he said. A rich businessman was happy to pay $9 million for it. It, the painting. But Terry said, no, I want 50 million. Okay, now, in 2007, a Canadian TV company made a film about the painting. It is now for sale in an art gallery in Toronto. Price 50 million. Maybe she should have taken the 9 million, or yes, the 9 million. I would have. Okay, guys, so that's your introduction to the past simple, regular and irregular verbs. And you'll notice here that all the verbs here were irregular verbs. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that story. It's one of my favorites. Tune in again next time.